Mataji,
So we have A, B, and C and D sections, and 1 to 5 we will be covering till maybe 8 shlokas if possible. Becoming detached from the material world, reflection of the spiritual world. 6 to 11, Purushottama Yoga, transmigrations. 12 to 15, Purushottama Yoga, Krishna's position as the maintainer. 16 to 20, Purushottama Yoga, the three shloka Bhagavad Gita, summarizing the Vedas and the Vedanta kinds of living entities. So we'll move on to the first section A, 1 to 5, becoming detached from material world, reflection of the spiritual world. Shri Bhagavanuvacha urdhvamoolamadarshakham ashvattham praruravyayam avyayam chamdam siyasya parnani yastam veda savedavit. Yes, Triveni Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas." Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So we just finished 14th chapter, and it was three modes of material nature. We have understood very clearly three modes of material nature are goodness, passion, and ignorance, and they are binding us like anything in this world. And after understanding, Krishna is also, he helps us to understand how to go above the three modes, how to, come out of the existence. And he says, Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samiti dhyayatan brahma bhuyaya kalpate, how we can transcend the three modes. He says, how one can reach the Brahman stage. And he says, Mamcha Yoga Vicharanya Bhakti Yogena Sevate, by uninterrupted devotional service. By doing devotional service, we hold the lotus feet of Krishna. We can go above the three modes of material nature, attach ourselves to Krishna, and then he helped us to how to get rid of the three modes of material nature. Now he's saying you can cut down the tree of material existence. That's what Lord is trying to explain. So in this chapter, that is Purushottama Yoga, yoga of the Supreme Person, that is Lord Krishna. He's starting the chapter with a very, very, very special tree. So this tree, which we can never imagine, then this is an analogy basically, and he's comparing the tree to this material existence, and then he is helping us to understand how we are, completely entangled in this tree. And Krishna is also going to help us understand how to cut this tree. And after having spoken about this, he will start speaking about his opulences and how all of us are so much dependent on Krishna in our day-to-day life. Very, very amazing chapter this one is. And we are entering into Purushottam Yoga, where Lord Bhagwan says, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, which is Lord Krishna. And he is very clearly, interestingly, if you see, there is no question here that Arjuna is asking right away. I mean, so but Krishna, out of his merciful as usual, right? So out of his causeless mercy, he is telling to all of us through the medium of Arjuna. Of course, Arjuna is the medium for all of us, but we are getting the message. And he says, Prahu Avyayam Ashwatham. So Prahu, it is said. What is said? Avyayam Ashwatham. There is an eternal, imperishable banyan tree, Ashwatham. Very, very special banyan tree, he says. What is the speciality of this banyan tree? He says, Urdhva Moolam. Means this tree has roots above. That's the speciality of this tree. And Adhashakham. The branches are below. The branches are down. Usually, when we see the trees and all outside here, the roots are down and the branches are up. But this is a special tree, Lord Krishna is saying. It is an inverted banyan tree. And then it is said that Chandamsi Yasya Paranani. And the Paranani means the leaves. The leaves, they are representing, what are they representing? The leaves are representing the Chandamsi. Chand bolte na, the Vedas, the Vedic hymns. So they are representing the Parananis, they are representing the Chandamsi, which is the Vedic hymns. And then Krishna is saying, Yastam Vedasa Vedavid. Such a person, Yeah, anyone who, what Veda, that is knowing after understanding this, of what understanding of this tree, Yama, of this Tama, of this tree, after understanding this tree, he is Vedavid. Once he understands about this tree, he becomes Vedavid, means he is the knower of the Vedas. He comes to understand. So, very, very, very important shloka we will be entering into this one because this is very important one, at least
Do
first.
you have any headphone?
This chapter position here. So let's dive deep into it. And Lord says, Ashwatha. Actually, if you break the word in Sanskrit, Ashwatha, Shwa. Shwa means what? Tomorrow, according to Sanskrit. And you can, if you add a in before Shwa, then it becomes Ashwa. Now it means not tomorrow. Shwa, tomorrow. And if you add a before Ashwa, it becomes not tomorrow. And Stha. Stha means um, stay, remain, stay there. So Lord Krishna speaks of eternal Ashwatha tree, which is upside down people tree. Shwa, which is not, it's ever changing. It is not going to remain there, right? So it has roots. That's why it's special. That's the analogy Lord Krishna is giving, saying the roots are above and, urdhva mula, adha shakha. So the branches are below. So Ashwatha means which will not remain same even on the next day, or something that is constantly changing. That's why I suppose Lord chose this tree to make us understand that we are temporarily living over here and this is not our permanent abode. That's my understanding. Because Sanskrit word, if you see samsara also in Sanskrit dictionary, if you say samsara, titi samsara means something that is constantly shifting. Jagat also, if you see, uh, gachaditi jagat means it means what? The constantly moving world. The world is not just moving or constantly changing, but someday it will be completely destroyed also, right? And everything will just enter into the garb of Lord. So that is why where the place that we are living in is very temporary. It is ashwat, temporary, ashashwat, how we say. So in this section of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is talking about what? The material world, how living entities entangled in this material world. And then Lord is also talking about the spiritual world, which is actual source of this material world. It's the place that we are supposed to go and how we need to get ourselves detached from this material world. That's the analogy of a banyan tree. That's why Lord is using. That's why I'm giving more time to this sloka. It shows how the material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. It's perverted. Perverted means the upside down reflection of the spiritual world. So Lord Krishna is comparing it to inverted or perverted or upside down banyan tree with its roots upwards and branches downwards. Why? Because it is being reflected in the water. It is the branches because it is being reflected on the water. This can be seen if we go and stand near any bank of a river or anywhere and we see the tree. We can see, right? We can see the reflection of the tree. So the tree, it has been analogized with the spiritual world and the reflection to the material world. The desires that we have, that is compared to water. The water is there, you can see on the screen, the blue water. That's compared as the desires that unending. So the desires are the cause. That is why we are sitting over here. So living entity, we are doing so many activities, right? Fruitive activities. It's like how a bird is jumping from one tree to from one branch to another, enjoying the fruits of the tree. Oh, I like mango tree. Okay, good. Next, he goes to another tree and he's eating something else. So, like that, like dharma, artha, kama, moksha, we are completely entangled into that. Knowing that, material world is actually, it's not real. It's just the reflection of the spiritual world. It is temporary. Knowing that It's not going to live forever. The tree is also not going to live forever. Everything will be, gone at one time. So all the living entities, we are all wandering in this material world. We are not going to be permanently situated here at one place. That's what Lord Krishna is giving this analogy also so that we understand. So based on our activities, there are two possibilities that I can think of. One is, some living entities may get just liberated and they will go back to, they will get away from these clutches of material world, material energy and three modes of material nature. And they will go back home, back to Godhead, to Krishna. Other living beings, they are either promoted to higher planets according to their karmas, or they are thrown down to lower planetary systems or lower species of life. There are just two possibilities that I can think of. No living entity, right from Brahma, who's sitting on the topmost root here, to an insignificant ant, will be living forever. That's the truth. That's the reality. Both have lifespan, right? After which they have to take birth in a different body. That's for sure. That's why Lord has said in this world, He's called it Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. Everything is very, very temporary over here. Whatever we are saying, whatever in this material world we are seeing, it exists in spiritual world also. The form, the quality of the spiritual world thing is definitely, it is completely different because it's made up of Satchitananda, complete eternality, knowledge, bliss, much, much better. Nothing is formless in spiritual world, okay? Nothing is having, oh, there is no quality, no. Nothing is seen in impersonal. It is very, very personal. So, like I heard somewhere, some Acharya saying that, there even the trees talk, everything talks, everything is very personal over there. So anyway, coming back to this one, the leaves, Parnani, the leaves are compared to Vedic hymns, Chamdamsi, and the living entity is hopping from one branch to another, trying to taste the fruits, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. One should not become very confused, by the leaves and the fruits of the enjoyment, the Vedas and all the Vedic rituals that we need to do, fruitive actions that we are getting the results of the fruitive. We should not get um, confused because of that. So we have to understand what is the purpose of Veda. The purpose of Veda is to know the Lord, that who is the compiler of Vedanta, right? But what is happening here is we are getting into that all kinds of rituals because we have so much of desire. So we get into that Paranani and Chamdamsi, and then we start doing rituals and we start desiring and we start asking, Putra Kamashti Yajnam and all that, we start doing it. And here the branches, they are all spread in different directions. Lower branches, Lord Krishna says that Srila Prabhupada in his purport also mentions that it is for lower species of life, that it starts with human beings and then lower down animals and all kinds of beasts. And whereas upper part, it is for higher forms of living entities like, Devatas and Gandharvas and other species of life. Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport, as the tree, what do we pour for the tree? We pour some water, right? So that the plant can grow well and all that. Same way, this Ashwatha tree, how is it nourished? Something has to be poured. So that's why it's written desire. It is nourished by the three modes of material nature, and just as some tracts of land, they are completely barren, right? And some tracts of land, we can see it very, very green color. Some are dry, some are not dry. It is depending on the availability of water, who is pouring water on what place, right? Depending on the prevalence of mode of material nature. Same way, some people are in higher species of love, some are on the lower, depends, different tracks according to your own karma. The twigs that Lord Krishna is talking about here, they're considered as sense objects. So that's what Lord Krishna is talking about here. And then he will talk about how we are using our different senses over here, right? And the senses are associated with enjoyment. And the whole thing, the root that is coming down from the tree is all, attachment and aversions. That is what Lord, and that is because of the byproduct of suffering and sense enjoyment that we are having, the tendencies that we are having towards, being in either devotional service or not being in devotional service. That's how the secondary roots attachment gets spread in all direction, whether we are get strongly holding on to it or not. Because the real root on the top here is Brahmaloka, right? From there, all the roots of coming down to human planetary systems. And once we finish enjoying everything over here, um, suppose we have done some punya, we go to upper planetary system, we enjoy everything, and again we come down to the earth. Again, we're going into that karma and the process cycle of birth and death and all. So the planet of human beings, that is where the whole karma gets done. It's the field of activities. From here only we can get higher promoted to higher planetary systems. We can go back to spiritual world or we can go back down. So ye karma bhumi hai. That's why they say material world is like huge ashwatha tree, right? Urdhva moolam adhashakam. That's what Lord Krishna is explaining to us. And he has already told us Parnani is what? All the Chamdamsi is there in the leaves is compared to all the Vedas. Then this way, what happens is Ashwatha tree. It nourishes the material existence of the souls, and we are continuously in this cycle of birth and death, right? But we have to understand as the water evaporates from the ocean, right? And it forms the cloud, and then from the cloud it rains onto the earth, right? Which then again forms the river and again goes into the ocean. This is our state. We are in the life of cycle, life and death. It is going continuously. So Lord has mentioned that whoever is able to get the secret of cutting this, he is the knower of Veda Ved. Yes, yes, tam Vedasa Veda Ved. He is the Veda Ved. So once we have to understand how to cut it. So after understanding this, Lord continues. He goes on with the other details of the tree. So we'll see the inverted tree here. This is how the tree is inverted. And then we'll see some points about it. The reflecting media, original tree is spiritual world, nourishment by the three modes of material nature. What are the roots? The topmost root is Brahmaloka, and then we come down to human planetary systems. The branches are there, Urdhva Mula Adha Shakham. We see that. So Shakham are down. Then there are various manifestations, like in the lower regions, there starts with human beings, then animals and lower species. Higher, we have Devatas. And then leaves are compared to Paranani is compared to Chandamsi, which is Vedic hymns. Twigs, sense objects, and the tips of the branches, they're like senses. We need the senses, right? To go around, look around, and we just grasp it and we start enjoying it. So the fruits, karma, right? Dharmartha, kama, moksha. And the living entities involvement is what? We are hopping from one branch like the bird, I tasted this mango and then goes to another fruit and tastes another, and we are just unending, right? Even though we are part and parcel of Lord Krishna, we are still struggling with the senses. Move on to the next shloka, shloka number 2. Adhashchodvam prasata tasya shakha गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलानि अनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके. Yes, please. Shilpa Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Lord Krishna is talking about the special tree, right, which is inverted. The tree which has roots growing upwards and the branches growing downwards. Urdhva Moolam Adhashakam. So Lord Krishna is giving us more details about this. And what is he saying? He says Tasya Shakha. So basically, Lord is saying about the tree's branches, that Shakha. So what is the speciality of this Shakha or the branches? Prasatah. Prasata means it is extending all, moving, going on and on. So where are these branches going or extending to? Adha cha urdhva. It is going either down or it is going downwards, and it is also going upwards. Adha cha urdhva. Urdhva means up and adha means downwards. And then how is this tree nourished? for, for a, because normal tree, we nourish it with water. So what is about this tree? So what is the nourishment for this tree? Lord is saying guna pravrittha very clearly. It is pravrittha or nourished by gunas, three modes of material nature. Now, some indication of some details of the tree, especially the branches. Lord says Vishya Pravala. So on the branches, there are pravala. There means after the branches are done, you see small, 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 those are called twigs. And these pravalas or twigs, they represent Vishaya. What is Vishaya? The sense objects. And Adha cha Mulani Anusantatani. Adha. Now it is said that there are some Mulani. Mulani, Mula means root, the roots, which is Anusantatani. Again, it is extending, right? And it is Prasita, and here it is called Anusantatani. It also means extending or growing. Growing where? Atha, downwards. So there are some Mulani or roots which are growing downwards. And then it is said, Karmani, Karma Anubandhani. Karma Anubandhani Manushaloke. So Karma Anubandhani Manushaloke means what? These Anubandhani, bandhala means to bound, to get binded, to get bound to what? Karma. We are bound to karma or to work. So where are we bound? Lord Krishna is saying, in this Manushya Loke, in the world of human society, we are bound completely. So here there are some things that we have to understand, that we are speaking about branches. They are growing upwards also, they are growing downwards also. The twigs are there, and they are on the branches, there are twigs. And then there are roots also. They are growing very much downwards, and they are completely rooted, and it's very difficult to get out of it, right? So, Lord Krishna is telling over here, there are three aspects that are given over here. Mm, and he's explaining how this human form is very much similar to the Ashwatha tree. And in human form, what's happening is the soul is doing this. We are doing some karmas, right? That's the trunk of the tree, and the branches, the shakhas, they are extending up and down. And based on whatever we have performed in our past and whatever we are doing right now in this present form, we take birth, right? If you have if you have done good karmas, when we are reborn, we may go into that above higher branches. And if we have, where Gandharvas and Devtas are living, and if we have not, we have done a lot of papas, we will go down. So where, animals, beasts, and even the lower regions we can take birth. We don't know. So how, water, it irrigates the tree. Similarly, three modes, Lord Krishna is saying it is irrigating the eternal tree of existence. Because sometimes we are in the mode of goodness, sometimes passion, sometimes ignorance, and we are doing all sorts of karma. It is creating more desires within us. So that's how it is happening. And sense objects generated by these three modes of material nature, what these gunas, they are like buds on the tree, Vishya Pravala. They sprout. It sprouts, and the moment it sprouts, we get more and more desires, and it's never ending, right? This material desire. There is another tree, a fig tree. um, it has aerial roots. It's going straight from the branches, and it is going down to the ground. And in passage of time, what happens is it has secondary trunks now. So much it keeps growing and growing and growing. There's no end to it. So the banyan tree keeps growing. It's very huge. It covers a large area. There is one in Kolkata also, in the botanical garden. It's called the Great Banyan Tree. It has been there since long time. I don't know how long, but very, very long time. And it is spread over, it is said about like 3-4 acres of land. And such a big tree. It's there in Kolkata. If you go to the botanical garden, since Britishers' time and before that. And it's been there for many, many, many years. Same way, in this material world, sense objects are like buds. It sprouts, and then it evokes the desires in us. Then we want all kinds of pleasures, and then we want to, um, satiate the desires. What do? We do some karma because we want to fulfill that desire. but the desires are unending. There is no end to it. So it goes on and on and on. And that's what Lord is saying. So very nicely, Lord Krishna has explained and described, and Srila Prabhupada also explained so well to be able to understand this tree. But it doesn't end here. Lord Krishna, is going to give few more details of this tree as to so that we understand how to cut the tree. This very, very important lesson that we have learned over here, that whatever activities we do here on this planet, Bhuloka, that we are here, they are that karma is going to determine, our destination. Where are we going to go? So very, very important. Every thought, word, and deed we have to keep looking and checking. So we have to be very cautious. We have to be very conscious while we are doing any activity in this world. So we should be very careful. We should avoid four sinful activities, at least, meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, and all that. And we should strictly avoid these four at least, and engage ourselves as much as possible in devotional activities like chanting and reading and Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, different devotional services, maybe, help in the betterment of humanity, share whatever knowledge we have of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam with others, get closer to Krishna. Otherwise, what is going to happen is these secondary roots, it will keep us into this material world forever, and we will never be able to attain our destination. Anyway, let's see what are other details Krishna is going to give about the other tree. So he says, "Na rupamasyeha tathopalabhyate na to na chadirna chamsa pratishtha ashvatthaменam suvirudhamulam asangashastena
बॉक्स लगा कर दो
tatparimargitavyam
don't remove. I just put the charger on.
chatyam purusham prapadye yatah
I'm using it, please.
pravritte
No. You can charge in your room.
Manoj Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that supreme personality of Godhead from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So we have seen how elaborately Lord Krishna explained in verses 1 and 2 how there are leaves and twigs and the roots are going upwards, downwards, branches all over the place. So let's see what Lord has to say in shloka number 3 and 4. So here Krishna is describing more aspects of the tree, and he's talking about something very, very serious and very critical. He's saying that, na rupam asya iha tatha upalabhyate, means what? The rupam, the real rupam or of asya or this tree cannot be upalabhyate. It cannot be perceived. We cannot understand. Where? Lord Krishna says, iha, in this world. We cannot understand because also it has na anta, na cha adi. So there is no one can understand where it is anta or ends, where it begins, adi. No one can know that. And then it is said that nacha sampratishtha. No one can find the sampratishtha also, means the foundation also we cannot find out. So Lord Krishna is saying is this a big mystery, No one knows anything actually properly. So no one knows where the beginning has, no one knows where the ending is, no one knows where the foundation, no one knows in this material world. And now here Krishna is telling us, what is the speciality of this tree? Ashwattha enam. This banyan tree is suvirudha moolam. Suvirudha moolam means, virudha means very strong, moolam means root. So it is very, very, very strongly rooted. Then dhridena. With determination, what do we do? Do what? Chitva means just cut this tree with dhrida nishchay we say, right? With lot of determination, we need to do chitva, cut. So cut, but I want to cut, but I don't have anything in my hand. What do I cut with? So Lord Krishna said, asanga shastrena. Asanga shastrena means by the weapon of asanga. Shastra means weapon. Asanga means detachment. You have the weapon in your hand, and that weapon is called detachment. In verse 4, Lord Krishna says about this, what one should do. He says, Tata means thereafter what one should do. padam tat parimargitavyam. Means after such a situation comes, you must find parimargitavyam. You must find some place. Start searching for a place. Which place? So Lord Krishna says, Yasmin gata nanivartanti bhuyaha. Yasmin, that place where after you go, kata, after you go over there, nanivartante, after cutting, after using that weapon of detachment, thereafter, what you must do, you must find a solution, you must find a way out. What way out, where to go? He says you have to find a yasmin, gata, nanivartante bhuya. Again, you bhuya means again. Nanivartante, you should not be coming back again. Make sure, find that way is what Lord Krishna telling in shloka number 4. And after going to that place, what has to be done? For that also Lord Krishna is telling. What is he saying? Tameva chadyam purusham prapadye. So tadeva chadyam adyam purusham prapadye. To whom we should go? Adyam purusham. So you have to try and go to a place where the original, the Supreme Personality of God. And after going there, what to do? He says, prapadye, surrender. Once you want to go, you have to first determine, I'm giving you the weapon. The weapon is weapon of detachment. And then you have to find a way out. You should try and come to me and surrender to me. Yata pravritti prasata purani. And who is that person? From whom? Yata, everything. Pravritta means everything has begun. And whom everything has extended from, you can say. Prasata means extended. And not only just now, but from what? Purani, from God knows when, from time back, time immemorial, from then onwards, it has been extended. So that person is the source of everything, from where everything began. Otherwise, you will not know where it started, where it is ending, what is the foundation. But with the weapon of detachment, you can find a way out, you can come and you can surrender, and then you will find that Adyam Purana, Prasuta Purana, that person, Purusham, you will find that who is the source of everything. So Lord Krishna is saying that this is a mystery, the mystery of Ashwatha tree. It's not easy to understand for all of us because we are so entangled in this continuous cycle of birth and death, we won't. And these buds of the tree, the objects of senses, what does it do? It lures us into, getting more and more desires. And we are so ignorant as such. We keep working very hard to fulfill those desires. मुझे कार चाहिए, मुझे बंगला चाहिए, मुझे गाड़ी चाहिए, मुझे I want to send my kids to Harvard University, and then there is no end. So then keep doing, and then we are nourishing it, to grow further, further, further. There is no cutoff point only. Okay, if there is a cutoff point, very good, but there is no cutoff point in our lives. So when such desires are fulfilled, they return with double intensity. It forms greed now. First, it was only there is no contentment ever. So, and if we are not able to fulfill that greed, it turns into anger. And if there is anger, it will fog our intellect. And if it falls completely, the intellect is clouded, there is no discrimination between right and wrong, we become completely ignorant. And then we fall down into mode of ignorance. So if you would have noticed, we see that if someone has no object of attachment, for example, then what happens? Suppose if he has no children, what does he do? He gets attached to his cats and dogs. He brings cats and dogs at home and he starts getting attached to it. What does it indicate? It indicates that there is a propensity for attachment for all of us and it cannot be stopped. So what to do? So we have to utilize it for the best purpose. So see, attachment cannot be killed. It simply has to be transferred. So attachment for material things is material consciousness, but attachment for Krishna will be Krishna consciousness. Simple as that. So in this bodily form, soul is always thinking. When we are in this, we are thinking about our flesh, bones, everything. We are forgetting what is our origin. We are forgetting what is our eternal existence. We are identifying ourselves with our name, fame, family, country, everything, relationships, right? And then to satisfy our bodily needs, we are running around here and there trying to completely go into that and commit sins and all, go into the lower regions, do punya, go into higher regions. Sometimes, we are attracted to the leaves of the tree. Yasya parnani chamdamsi. And then we do all the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies to accumulate more pious merits. And when we get that, we go to higher planets, then come back down. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Krishna Bhuli say Jiva Anadi Bahirmukha. Krishna Bhuli. Soul is forgetting, Lord. Since Anadi, and he is completely Bahirmukha. He is completely like that. Ateva Maya Tare, Deya Samsara Dukha. This material Maya, this material Maya is giving us lot of dukkha in this samsara. Kabhu swarge uthaye, kabhu narke dubai. Sometimes it takes us to Swarga, and sometimes it pulls it down to the hellish planets. Dande Jane Raja Yena Nadite Chube means it's like, how the Raja, he gives lot of torture, to some in olden times. When you do something wrong, the king will torture you like anything. So it is something similar to that. In olden days, lords, kings used to order a lot of torturous punishments. Like, sometimes they would immerse the head into water till you're suffocating and then release it for some time and then again put it down. So that kind of punishment was there, and it was repeated again. A condition of our soul is something like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in this tree of material existence, it is pushed back and forth between upper and lower regions. We are like a football, we are running around here and there. So Srila Prabhupada says we have to search out for the origin of this tree, find Supreme Personality of Godhead, surrender ourselves to that, completely detach ourselves from this reflection, false reflection of reality, and get connected to the Lord. And several lifetimes have passed, we don't even know. We are still into this material enjoyment, and we need to understand that this tree has to be cut. And Lord Krishna says there is a weapon, and the weapon is detachment. Lord Krishna is giving us the solution. We have to just apply it. He has already told, right, that the remedy for soul's suffering is asanga. Asanga means detachment. What will it do? It will cut the roots of the desires, which is nourished by three modes of material nature. And the question is, will this detachment develop? For this, Lord has explained very clearly that yes, it can be developed, but with knowledge of the self. We have to understand. And what is that? We have to start realizing I am not this material body, I am the soul. I will not get everlasting happiness in this world. I am running after material things. There is no end to my desire. Material body will never have any kind of fulfillment. I am trapped in this material world. I need to get out of this web of life and death. With detachment, then we can stop slowly, not very clearly, but slowly we can stop this tree, the tree roots. We can stop it from growing further. And because we are not giving any water to it, right? We are not giving any desire to it, it will start to wither. If you don't pour water for a long time, the tree will wither. So the next step is to look at the base of this upside down tree, and in real terms, we have to, it's on the top, the root is on the top, and everything is higher there. The Supreme Lord is over there. He is residing over there, and he is waiting for us. He says, I am the origin of all creation. Everything comes out of me, everything emanates out of me. And whoever is wise, he will understand that Lord Krishna has told many, many times, even in chapter 10, he said, Aham Prabhavas, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. I am everything, right? So we have to start finding the ultimate source. We must surrender to God. We must keep telling this point. We have to repeat, I submit to you, from whom the whole universe has come into being from a long time ago. I surrender to you. Every time we have to keep repeating, because mind is very chanchal. It goes away like anything, and there is a lot of maya, and we have to cut it with the axe of asanga shastrena. So we have to keep telling. Otherwise, Lord has said, Devi Hisha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya. My Maya is very Duratyaya. But Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarante. If you surrender to me, I will take care of you. So let us surrender. Let Lord take care of us. And the only way to cut down the Ashwatha tree is what? Surrendering to the Lord, so that we don't return back to this material world. So you have to choose one way, whether we want to go the God's way, which is the next exit itself by surrendering, or our way, where there is no exit from the cycle of birth and death. So Lord Krishna will tell in the next verse, he is revealing the requirements. What is the process of surrender? Now that we have understood, okay, we have to surrender. So, what is the process of surrender? So, Lord Krishna is going to speak about that, and he is going to speak about those people who have already surrendered to Krishna. So, what are their qualities? This is what Lord is going to explain in the 5th verse. So, I will stop over here with permission, and we will